Hello, welcome back to Rohmer Retrospective. We're on the second film now, The Bakery Girl of Monceau, which is a short film from 1963 and is the first part of Rohmer's 6 moral tales. 6 films that he made that focus on morality of character. And to kind of clarify exactly what he means by these being moral tales, before we get into The Bakery Girl of Monceau, he says, "My intention was not to film raw events, but the narrative that someone makes of them. The story, the choice of facts, their organization, not the treatment that I could have made them submit to. One of the reasons that these tales are called moral is that physical actions are almost completely absent. Everything happens in the head of the narrator." So the moral tales doesn't really mean that there's a moral contained in them, even though there might be one, and all the characters in these films act according to certain moral ideas that are fairly clearly worked out. They are films where a particular feeling is analysed and where even the characters themselves analyse their feelings and are very introspective. And I could see where he's coming from on that based on this film alone. So this film is only about 23 minutes, something like that, and it's about a guy who falls in love kind of with a woman that he sees just passing him by on the street. He'll see her very regularly as he's going to, wherever, he kind of starts recognizing a pattern of where she's going to be, and he makes eye contact with her, and we hear him narrating about how he sees this girl and he wants to see more of her, and he doesn't want to kind of make the move to say anything, and the build up of kind of seeing her every day and kind of being encouraged by his friend to go and talk to her and stuff like that. And it's about this this projection of his love for this woman. He eventually talks to her, and she seems quite receptive to him. And he asks her to go out, to have coffee or whatever, and she pushes him back, but she's still quite positive and says, maybe tomorrow, something like that, I think. And so he's kind of very upbeat about this. And then he never sees her again. And he spends, like all of his free time just kind of walking up and down the streets, hoping to bump into her again, and starts thinking about what happened to her. Is she gotten with someone else? Is she married even? Or is she dead? There's so many possibilities. It could be literally anything. And he starts overthinking things. And part of his routine as he's walking around to see if he can kind of bump into her, again, is he goes to this bakery and buys the same thing every day. The girl who works there, seems to like him, and he kind of likes her a little bit, and he kind of treats her as his pet project while he's kind of waiting to meet the dream girl. And to the point where he starts leading her on a little bit, I suppose. And we hear all this through his narration. He's talking about his inner thoughts and what he's thinking, and doesn't really want to be with this girl, but maybe there's no other option, things like that. And so it's really about this this complete self-absorbed psyche of this man who is just again creating this narrative in his own head about this woman who he thinks he's in love with, and then this girl at the bakery who he kind of thinks he's too good for. So it's really an unlikable lead character, and there's a great little twist at the end of the film, which I guess I won't spoil. Again, I don't see anyone watching these reviews and rushing out to watch the film that I'm talking about, but I really, really liked this. I liked how it was a character that I wasn't sympathetic to, yet could relate to some of his kind of projections at the same time. I remember growing up as a teenager in my young 20s, my early 20s, I'll leave that one in. In my early 20s, you'll see someone passing in the street, and the allure of who is that person, what's their life like, and you start to kind of create this own thing in your head, and you think that you like them, and there's something there, and then you realize, well, no, there's nothing there. I don't know anything about this person. It's just a physical attraction. That's all it is. You can't know any more than that unless you know the person, or at least start to get to know the person. And this is something he hasn't done with this woman that he's kind of idolizing and fantasizing over. So I thought this was a really interesting story, told very efficiently in the 20 minutes that it contained the story in. I really liked the style of it. And again, I know that the first film we talked about, Eric Rohmer's first feature film, The Sign of Leo, wasn't written by him, which I guess is unusual for most of his films. I'm not sure if he wrote this one, in fact. Let me see if I can get that information up quickly without really losing too much steam. Yes, he wrote this film. Okay. And I liked it felt again very much in tune with The Sign of Leo in terms of both the black and white cinematography, the way it looked, seeing the streets of Paris and things like that, but also the dialogue and the naturalistic feeling to the way the characters interact with each other. I really enjoy that style. So this was a film that really, again, clicked with me, I think. And I thought it was a really great short film. Not perfect, there are little moments, few moments here and there that weren't great, but I mean, just it's hard to judge short films, you know, because they're very contained. You know, you don't have that room to breathe sometimes. It feels like every second counts. But in that sense, I thought he did a great job. I'm looking forward to seeing more of these moral tales to see how they compare with each other. I don't know what the similarities between the stories are or anything like that. I don't think that characters carry over or whatever. And I actually know that Eric Rohmer has done multiple kind of series like this. You know, the 6 moral tales, I think comedies and proverbs, something like that. There's this other kind of seasonal films, A Tale of 4 Seasons. He did 4 films. I don't know. So there's kind of different groupings of films throughout his filmography. So it'll be interesting to kind of watch all of them and then look back on them and reflect on, you know, each film in the series and maybe do like a wrap-up video. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I really am flying by the seat of my pants here. But The Bakery Girl of Monceau, I really, really like this one. And the ending was really intriguing to me, to the point where I went back and watched the last 5 minutes again, just to really kind of study every kind of detail of the actors' faces to kind of get what was going on in that scene. And I really liked the way it wrapped up. So yeah, a really cool little short film. The Blu-ray looked great, and this is a cool scene between the lead character and the bakery girl. I thought her performance was great. I really liked the lead character as well. He kind of was suitably aloof, I think, in his performance. And then we have inside here, I guess a poster. I don't think this film was released theatrically, so it wouldn't have a poster, but a still from the movie. Pretty much the same thing we see on the painted front of the Blu-ray there. So, there we go. Film number 2 down. 20 more to go, 20 plus more to go. I'm really enjoying this so far, so hopefully you're enjoying these videos. Let me know if you've seen this film, or any thoughts you have on Eric Rohmer down below, and I'll see you in the next video.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans and calling into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you.